And thank you all for being here. I'm going to talk about manifestation according to who you are. You can't manifest any more than you've come here for. You can try, but actually, your mind doesn't even think that way. Your mind thinks in the template that you are born to. And you might have an ego that wants more and more and more and more, but actually, all you can really get is what you have come to this planet for. And your soul knew that before you were born. Your soul knew it all. And now you're living it out. And it's amazing that we all are so different from each other and want to be like other people who might have more. Oh, I want to have what they have. But in the meantime, we only get what we're here for. And so how does that work? How do we know who we are? And that's what I'm all about is teaching how we know who we are so we understand why we get what we get. And I use human design, I use the source cards, I work with intuition as well. I've had I've been teaching for almost 30 years, weekly classes at the Heart River Center. And thousands of people have come to the school over the years. It's in New York, or it used to be. Now it's online on Zoom. But there are weekly classes, although there's a summer break right now. And so, what I want to talk about is the nature of personality, the templates that we can be born to or not. And it's all spelled out in the human design system, and it's spelled out in the source cards. For instance, let's talk about the cards. The cards are the playing cards, a 52 card deck. It's older than tarot. It's actually the structure of life. Tarot wouldn't exist without a structure of life because tarot are the stories of life. So, which came first? And I think it's understood that the 52 card deck is much older. And it represents numbers and all kinds of periodicity, for instance. Um, 52 cards, 52 weeks, um, all the different suits, seasons, etc. So we're born on our birth date into a particular card. And if you know the card that you're born into, then you can manifest so much more powerfully. And for instance, I was born into the Four of Clubs. And so that means my mind needs to foursquare everything. I need to know what's true. And I've been living that way all my life, and sometimes to the consternation of others who don't have that card. And so we we're in relationships generally with people who don't have the same card that we have, and it's hard to get along with people who you don't understand because they have a different card than you have. A lot of relationships after a while are struggling because we look at each other and go, "Oh my gosh, you're not me." And then we have to figure it out. So if you're born into an ace, for instance, you're somebody who's always creating. You're always finding new things. If it's an ace of clubs, your mind is always coming up with new ideas. If you're an ace of hearts, you always need to have new people in your life. If you're an ace of diamonds, you want more of everything because diamonds are the world around us, the material world around us. Clubs are the mind, hearts are the heart, diamonds are the world around us, and spades are consciousness. So if you're born to an ace of spades, you're always expanding your consciousness into new areas. And that ace isn't always happy because it's alone on the card, one little pip in the middle of the card, and it needs to fill it up. So there's always this great need to fill up. So talk about manifestation, an ace is always manifesting more and more and more, depending on, of course, the suit. More and more ideas, if it's your club, more and more people, if it's a heart, etc. More money, for instance, if it's a diamond, or at least more of what life has to offer around us. And so that's the ace. What does a two want in life? A two wants others. If you're a two of clubs, you're here to share your mind and offer your mind and want to interact. Two of clubs is highly interactive, loves to socialize and lead because it's good with people. Two of clubs is a wonderful people card. If you're born to be a two of diamonds, you're born to share. It's the material world, you want to interact with others. In the material world, you're somebody who loves to share. If you're a two of hearts, you sure want to be in relationship and doesn't necessarily have to be one person. It can be many, and still have a, a really good relationship with a lifelong partner, of course. Um, Two of spades means you want to expand consciousness with others, to be present, to be aware. Consciousness is all about awareness, being present. So if you're two of spades, that's very important. If you're born to be, oh, by the way, while I'm talking about cards, while you're on, why don't you go to a website that you can find your card and then you can understand what I'm talking about more. It's called thesourcecards.com. It's not my website. It's one of my closest friends, Alexander Dunlop, and his wife, Vicky. And they're wonderful card people. So you can put in your birth date, it'll tell you your card, and then you'll understand and appreciate how to be more like what I'm talking about. And then if you're born to be a three, well, threes are all about action. If you know numerology, it's just threes are motion. And if you're born to be a three of clubs, you've got a very active mind. If you're born to be a three of diamonds, your whole life is just full of sometimes chaos. Threes can be chaotic. Threes, because it's like juggling more than you can handle. That's threes. They take on too much. Three of Hearts does that. Three of Hearts can struggle in relationships only because it gets confusing. How many people can you dedicate yourself to, including yourself? Uh, so three of spades is really just wanting to expand awareness and be very active and full of life. And let's even call it multidimensional ways. If you're a four, I'm a four of clubs. So I want to four square my mind. If you're a four of hearts, you're somebody who really wants to four square relationships, four square love, understand the truth of love, really be interested in um, the the right way of caring. Um, the link again is thesourcecards.com, thesourcecards.com. And somebody said something about it, which we'll talk about human design in a little while. I just want to go through this part. Um, and so you can project what, the four of diamonds is figuring out how life works. And have a little grandson who's 20 months old, and he's a four of diamonds, and all he wants to do is figure out how things fit together, where goes where, how things work. He's so dedicated to that. At 20 months, it's fun to watch. Uh, so four of clubs, four of hearts, four of diamonds, and four of spades is just wanting more truth awareness and consciousness. The five is never enough. If you're a five, you're somebody who's always seeking more. How can I get more? Where can I get more? What can I change? It's all about change. If you know numerology, you know that that's what a five does. So you can see how that works with the mind, with clubs, with diamonds, with the world around you, with hearts, with relationships. People with a five of hearts, it's a struggle because they want more and more and more and more, need more and more. But sometimes if you're somebody who wants to be in a relationship with someone like that can be good. And then again, the five of spades, it's consciousness and spirituality. Let's call it that too. The six is alignment because the six are two parallel lines of, uh, of pips. They're called clubs. Sixes, you want to know everything how it lines up. It's called the lawyer card. You want everything to be in alignment. My oldest son is a six of clubs, and he's a lawyer, and he wants justice. And and six of diamonds is you want everything in your life to line up, the world around you. Six of hearts is a difficult card because the six of hearts wants to make sure all the hearts around you are in alignment. The six of hearts actually is the card that plays on Christmas Day, and that's why people are judgmental about do we all love each other here? Maybe not. There's family struggles at Christmas when uh, there's there are issues about love or questions, and so that six is a difficult card, but very important. It's called the karma card because if you don't get it right, you don't go to nirvana. So the sixes always want to get it right. Sevens is magical. Sevens, you can see a seven card can be played up or down. So people who have sevens are always wanting to play it up. When you meet a seven, they're generally very, very positive. Someone just chatted there, seven of diamonds. That means they want their life always to be up, because you're afraid because the magic works when it's up and it works against you when it's down. So people who are diamonds really want to play it up all the time. And it's interesting to be around them. If you're an eight, it's power. Eight is infinity. Eight of spades is probably one of the most powerful cards in the deck because it's the power of everything. And eight of clubs, power of the mind. Eight of diamonds, this, the world around you. You're a master. You can really create great abundance. Eight of diamonds is a hugely abundant card of manifestation. It's great for business, and so the nines are the last rung on the ladder. So it's people who are nines are always trying to accumulate more and more and more and more. The problem with nines is that you get to the top of the ladder and you got to start a new one. So nines is also the number of endings and beginnings. So if your card is a nine, there'll be a lot of endings and beginnings in your life, but you'll always want to be building and creating more. Tens is a princess card. So if you're born to a princess card, you are someone in demand. The princess has the keys to the kingdom. So everybody wants you. Everybody wants you for your mind. If you're a glove, for each suit, they want you for that. And so tens always feel a lot of pressure to deliver, but 10 is a magical card of power too. The princess has a lot of power. And so people with tens are usually very bright, but often overwhelmed because of the demands of others for them to deliver what the kingdom has to offer. And if you're a jack, it's a jack in the box. I'm a jack of spades. And it's powerful cards, full of blessings, great intuition. It's amazing because the prince of the kingdom doesn't have a real job. prince of the kingdom is experimenting and exploring until he becomes king. So it's a card of exploration, and so I'm a jack of spades, so it's the exploration of consciousness. It's known as the prince of consciousness, and that's why I'm highly intuitive, and that's why I live a very strange world of intuition and multidimensionality. I work with intelligences on many different dimensional levels. It goes on and on. It's hard to talk about quickly, but I'm living in a very strange world of uh, multidimensionality. Um, the queen is the great nurturer, highly intuitive, takes care of people. It's really it's wonderful to be a queen. I love that card the most. My older granddaughter is the queen of clubs, and she's wonderful. The king is authority. So if you're born to be a king, you're here to somebody just flip three cards. That's another. That's a good way to see what's coming, is to draw cards and see what you pull. So kings, if you're a king, you really feel like you have authority and you want to manifest from that. And it's just automatic. You just, as a king, you just know that know. You know that whether it's a club or whatever it is, you know that you know. My younger son is a king of spades. He's a master. He's just was made president of his company because they just know that he's the authority that they really need to appreciate. It just goes with the territory of a king. So those are cards. But there are so many important numbers in human design and in um, uh, basically, well, in human design, but like for instance, for prosperity. If you're interested in what your prosperity is about, there are only 6 numbers in human design, because that's the amount of numbers in a hexagram. And so if you're a 1, if your prosperity in human design is a 1, and you can find that out by, if you have a chart done for you, and I can provide charts for people at my email, peter@heartriver.org, HEART river.org. And you can see what your conscious Jack, conscious Jupiter, conscious Jupiter line numbers, the lines of each hexagram. There are 6 lines to a hexagram. So whatever your line number is in conscious Jupiter in your chart, if you're a 1, you're here for self-sufficiency. You're interested in building foundation, taking care of yourself, looking out for everything, and being smart about taking good care. If you're a 2, you're a natural steward. You're here to steer and guide people, because the 2 is interactive. Remember that. And it also is the 2 in human design is an inward card. It's also known as a hermit. So it's knowing how to take care of yourself using the tools around you. And so you can steward money. So you'll have money to steward. If you're a 2 and you're here to steer money, you'll have it. If you're a 3, remember 3 is about action. So it's really about flexibility and flow, cycles, the dances of wealth. And the 3 just can be full of wealth in all the dances. It has to do with investing and winning and losing, but playing the game, wanting and willing and be happy to play the game, and going with the flow and going up and down and making the most of it. If you're a 4, you're here to be generous, to give to charity and work in community. It's called love in action. So your prosperity will be love in action. If you're a 5, it's a higher number of leadership, enterprise, being of influence. It's very creative, and it offers great advice. It's really leadership. If you're a 5, you're here to really be a wise one. And if you're a 6, it's even wiser. 6 is the financial role model. Has really good karma. It's called soulful wealth. So if you're a 6, you're here to live in a greater soul of abundance. So it's pretty good to know that about yourself. So there's so many different ways of learning about ourselves in human design uh, because of these 6 numbers. For instance, if you're born, there's something called color, which isn't really visual, it's just a number. So if you're born to the 1 in human design, you're born just like in prosperity, you're born to take care of your own needs. You're really interested in your survival needs. So if you're a 1, you're always looking out for yourself. You're always making sure that you're safe and secure and will have what you need. If you're a 2, you live in faith. It's an inner sense of just let me be, let me live in truth. It's kind of like the speaker who was before me talking about uh, living in, in divine guidance and trusting the process. And so 2s do that. They're really the best visionaries because it takes faith to be a visionary. Everybody else needs proof, but uh, so okay, yeah. So Andrew just showed that you can email me to get, and yeah, you can have a short overview reading of your chart also. Um, Maybe 10 minutes of telling you what it means, looking at some of these things. So if you're but if you're a 3 actually in your color, in the number, you're here to be a leader. People will listen to you and follow you. So a 3 is somebody who leads and has followers, yet a 4 is mastery. And if you're a 4, you're here to um, be seen by people who want to learn from you and study with you. And uh, it's more personal, interactive. Remember what we said about prosperity is love in action. So if you're a 4 and you're a master, you're really participating in that. Um, if you're a 5 in color, it's all about convincing people. It's leadership, it's confidence, it's influence, and it's saying, I know, do it my way, do this. This is what I believe in, and they're always trying to convince you of things. So my younger son, who's this new uh, corporate president, is is a 5, and he's always able to convince people about a lot of things. He's also that king of spades. And if you're a 6, it's 6. It's interesting. I'm a 6. I'm the color 6, and it's not easy to be a color 6 because it's the color of innocence. It's like I don't have an agenda. Never had an agenda. I just love to be and share and give and teach, and and people don't always understand 6s because they think we have something up our sleeve. We don't. We don't. We just love being here and sharing and uh, allowing the flow to work. So if anybody has questions, there's still a couple of minutes left, few minutes left. Um, I know I've rushed through a lot here. It's a lot of data. Um, so you can learn about your human design. There's so much in human design. A full reading goes 2.5 hours. Somebody just said there's 6-2 in human design. That means you're a role model hermit. 6s struggled in their early part of their life. And during the mid years of their lives, they've gained wisdom, so they become the role model. They become, the wise person on the hill. And then the hermit is saying, well, I really enjoy being by myself, but I'm willing to come out to be on the hill, to be the sage if you need me. So a hermit isn't exclusive. The hermit shares. And so that's a 6-2. So if and somebody just said so true, and it's really 3-5. Somebody's a 3-5 in human design, and 3 is the um, um, I'm just blocking the word, but 3 learns by bumping into things. So it's and the 5 is a martyr. So so the 3 is always learning by just by what happens, what shows up, and you learn from it. And the 5 is that leadership, is that knowing, is that greater knowing. But 5s are also a little bit paranoid because people ask too much of them. And if you don't have the answers that they want, they'll burn you at the stake. That's why it's called the martyr. So, um, yeah, these chats that people are putting up, they're cool. I haven't, I'm not reading them all, um, but um, um, so it's nice to hear from you people. If you want to raise a hand and ask something, um, someone's a queen of clubs, someone's a 7 of diamonds, someone's a 9 of clubs. It's a 3 of diamonds. Good luck. You're so busy. Life is full of busyness, but it's talent and it's intuition and it's three of diamonds are quite amazing. 5 of diamonds is always looking to change things, wants more and more and more. I'm so glad to see people ask me about themselves. Um, so where do you get the number of the color? That's in the software. It doesn't show up unless you know how, so you have the software and you have to click into it. Um, and 5 fits burning at the stake, yes, because of expectations of others. Somebody is a queen of clubs and a boyfriend is a queen of hearts. Wow. The queen of clubs has trouble being in relationship because they're so advanced. They have such an amazing, valuable, and profound mind that it's hard to find the right people. And the queen of hearts, I think, would be a right person. So I know I feel that way for my granddaughter because I know it's hard for people to keep up with her. She's so uh, smart and aware. And those are the Queen of Clubs. I love that card. And there are some amazing people on the planet because it also gives to humanity. So there are some great leaders out there, people who have really um, done a lot for the world and still doing a lot. And those are Queen of Clubs. Um, but if anybody wants to ask any questions um, by raising a hand, and I can respond to that. Um, but I love talking about this. But a lot of you don't know anything about me. I'm at my website. I just changed the name of it from Heart River Center for Intuitive Healing to Heart River Center for Soul Growth, guiding you through intuitive awakening. And but my web people haven't uh, changed it yet, but it's what we are now calling ourselves. So my job is to awaken people to their soul. Soul is the bottom line of who we are, and the more that we can know our soul, the more we can know ourselves. And so, and all these ways I'm talking about today are ways to know the soul, but on all kinds of dimensions. I can read people's past lives. So in classes, I'll plug into the past life or more than one lifetime of each student in the class, and sometimes ancient lifetimes. I recently did a class like that we went back into way, way, sometimes even a million years back. Um, and it was amazing to see the ancient lifetimes of some people on different planets, different constellations, different galaxies, etc. Um, so, um, will you speak? Um, okay, yeah, somebody is saying they have trouble being in relationships. Yeah, well, you have to know your card and you have to know how to live your card. And then you can be in relationships being true to your card and your human design too. The more you can be true to yourself, the more you can be true with others. And the more you know their cards and their human design, the more you understand how to work with them, how to live with them, and roll your eyes sometimes. My wife and I have different cards and different human designs, and we've been together 45 years, and we're always rolling our eyes, going, "Oh my gosh, you're not me." So, somebody was a certain person a recommendation to assess pancreatic cancer. Well, um, I don't know. I've I've taught medical intuition. I'm a medical intuitive, uh, but I don't. I'm not. I'm so into information of who we are and how we can best create a life that we want from knowing ourselves and each other better. And I am here, unfortunately for me, I'm here holding very high frequencies. And I've been learning recently that my frequencies are too high for a physical body. And that's why I'm quite disabled in my 80s, uh, because my body has been breaking down all my life and
Mhm.
still is doing that. But it's all right, because I'm here to emit frequencies for this planet and for uplifting humanity. So I'm very happy about that.
Mhm.
Um,
There was a
so,
question in the comments. Sorry to interrupt you, but
yeah, please interrupt me and tell me what questions I'm
yeah,
not seeing.
there's a question that says asking for a friend. Do you have a certain person or recommendation to assess pancreatic cancer, or would you want to have a meeting with them?
Well, I never turn down using my intuition,
Mhm.
but I don't. Um, I have been a practicing medical intuitive for a long time, but it's so much about every disease is psychosomatic, and so a lot of what I do in understanding diseases is helping people why they have them and what they can do to clear them by cleaning up what has caused it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so you would want to have a more in-depth meeting with that person who would possibly have pancreatic cancer?
Yeah, I never turn down
Mhm.
using my intuition
Okay.
because when you're intuitive, you never know what's going to come through.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I've been practicing intuitive for 30 years now, so
Mhm.
I've worked with thousands and thousands of people with all kinds of things, and I always say Peter Roth doesn't know a whole lot, but the universe knows a zillion things, and I can tap in.
Okay. I have one more question for you from the comments. Someone said, "What do you find is the most important area to focus on in the human design chart or in their human design charts?"
Well, we're all different. So for different people, there are different things that show up. I know
Mhm.
somebody just I saw there was a chat said somebody's a generator. It's good to know
Mhm.
you're a generator. That means you're just always stirring the pot, trying to make life work, using the motor of your second chakra just to keep on keeping on. Whereas, for instance, if you're a projector instead of a generator, you don't stir the pot, you design the pot. So we all have different ways of using energy to. be who we need to be.